Hello everybody, we're here today to show you how to mount a 3-pin binding using our paper template.
Now before we show you how to mount a 3-pin binding to a Voile ski, it's important to note that this is something that we recommend you just take to a shop for an experienced certified ski tech to perform. This isn't the most intuitive mount in the world, so this is one that we recommend taking it to a professional to get it done right. We should also note that we do sell our Voile jigs on our website, and we'll put a link to that down in the description. And it's also important to note that if you are buying a Voile ski and a Voile binding from our website or our retail store, we'll perform the mount for you for free. So if you're someone who is thinking about buying the combo setup already, you can just go ahead and do it through us and we'll take care of this for you. Otherwise, we recommend visiting an experienced shop where you can get a good experienced ski tech. If you find yourself in this situation, we have the paper template, which will show you how to use, but we do also sell the jigs on our website. Let's go show you how to mount some skis.
For a full-length video on how to find the boot sole length of your boot as well as the center of your Voile ski, you can go ahead and click this link right here in the corner. It's important to note that there are 2 separate 3-pin paper templates on the Voile website. We have one that is a 3-hole pattern, which is meant to be paired with the 201 Telemark 3-pin, the HD Mountaineer, and the 3-pin cable binding. The other paper template is for a 4-hole pattern, which is to be used with the Hardwire 3-pin and the 3-pin cable Traverse. The 4-hole pattern paper template is for the shimmed 3-pin bindings. And it's important to note that once you mount this shim using the 4-hole pattern, you will then mount the 3-pin toe piece to the shim using the 3-hole pattern that's already been drilled into the shim. The first thing you're going to want to do is find the boot sole length of your boot. You're going to want to take your tape measure and measure from the heel to the center of the middle pin on the toe of your boot. You're going to want to take that number and divide it by 2 to find your boot center. For example, if your boot sole length from the first measurement was 305, the boot center mark is going to be 152 and a half. You're going to want to make sure that it measures 152 and a half both in front and behind the boot center. That way you'll ensure that it's the correct number. Now we're going to go ahead and take out the paper template, which can be found on our website. We'll have that linked below in the description. Depending on the width of the ski that you're mounting your binding to, you may need to cut little windows out in the template so you can see the center line on your ski. This is super easy to do. You can just take your scissors and just cut these little windows along that line. Next, you're going to want to take your scissors and cut out that center diamond that you can see on the paper template. To ensure that we mount the binding perfectly straight on the center of the ski, we're going to need to find the vertical center line. We're going to do this by taking a spare piece of scrap paper and we're going to crease it around the edge of the skis. You're going to want to be very careful when you do this to make sure that everything is pulled tight and is lined up perfectly straight. Once you've found that crease, you can go ahead and measure from crease to crease. That way you'll be able to find the vertical center line on the ski, and you can mark that center line on a piece of tape on your ski so you can line up the paper template and tape it down. Once we've found the vertical center of the ski and our paper template is taped down to the ski, we're going to want to center punch the screw holes onto the template with a nail or a punch. This is going to leave a small divot which will help you guide the drill bit when you're mounting your binding. So now that you have these screw holes punched, you're going to want to remove the template and drill into the holes. You're going to want to ensure that you do this very carefully and don't drill in too deep because that could dimple the base of your ski. Alright, now that you have the holes drilled into the ski, you can go ahead and remove the tape. You can clean up the top sheet with a razor blade to make sure that the top of the ski is nice and clean. Before we go ahead and put any of these screws into the ski, we're going to want to double check the screw length by putting the screw in the binding and holding it flush with the ski. You do not want to punch out the base, so this is just an extra insurance step to make sure we don't dimple it. Next, you're going to want to apply a little bit of epoxy or waterproof wood glue in each hole. You can go ahead and stir this up with a needle or a paper clip to ensure that all the air bubbles get out. It's also important at this point to double check that your left binding is going on the left ski and the right binding is going on the right ski. This is indicated by the arrow cutouts on the toe piece of the binding. Now you can go ahead and screw in the toe piece with a drill. You want to be sure to hand tighten the last few rotations just to make sure that you don't overdo it and dimple the base of your ski. The heel piece should be centered with the heel of the boot. and you can do this either by eye or with the template. Alright, so now we're going to mount the heel piece. So first things first, we're going to cut windows into the template if needed based on the ski width. So we had to do that with this ski, so here you can see us doing that once again with the scissors. Now that we have the windows cut into the paper template, we're going to want to line it back up with the center and the horizontal lines, and we're going to go ahead and tape it down to the ski. Similar to the toe piece, we're going to want to go ahead and center punch the screw holes onto the template with a nail or a punch. Once again, you want to make sure you do this very lightly. It's just so we have an indicator of where the screws are going to go. Okay, now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and remove the template, and we're going to drill the holes yet again very carefully. This is to make sure we don't dimple out the base of the ski. Once that's been done, we can go ahead and remove all of the tape and clean up the top sheet with the razor blade. Once again, we're going to apply some epoxy or some waterproof wood glue into the holes and stir it up with a needle or a paper clip to remove those air bubbles. Now we're going to go ahead and line up the two parts of the heel piece and screw them in using the drill, hand tightening with the last few rotations with the screwdriver. Once that's been done, we're going to put in screw plugs on the heel piece and we're ready to roll. Now that we've mounted up this first ski, we can just go ahead and repeat all of these steps for the other ski, and then you're ready to roll.